Hello everyone, this is Builder Shed here, and today I'm going to show you basically something that Arch Linux added a while back. Act like they added a while back, but recently, like a couple months ago, it has improved heavily. Like a few months ago, I'm literally quite late to the party, but I think it's a good idea to show you all this because it kind of brings Arch Linux out to the masses. So now you don't need to be much of a computer geek to really start telling everyone, I use Arch, by the way. Well, I don't. Well, you didn't actually need to be a computer geek anyways. You just had to read the wiki on it. It wasn't even as hard. Like compared to Gen 2, this is like heaven, to be honest. But yes. So for y'all are questioning, the tool that comes with this is archinstall. So we just type this in. It's testing. Now it's testing connectivity to Arch Linux mirrors. So that's what you just need to do. Archinstall. Right now it's testing connectivity, of course. Probably the second time I mentioned this. Can't wait to mention it a third time. Okay. So now down here it says you could choose a layout that isn't in this list, but whose name you know. You can also enter question mark or help to search for more languages, or skip to use US layout. Since I'm in the United States, which is already at the very bottom, but no matter what, we're still doing good. I think we can go, but there's other ones too. You got NL, which I probably suspect stands for Netherlands or Dutch. You got DE, which I know stands for German. So, if you speak some German, then you go pick that. I was going to speak a little bit of German there, but I forgot a grammatical thing. Yes, of course, stands for Espanol. Everyone in the United States knows that. But let's get onward. Well, of course, RU also stands for Russian, and UK just means British English. But I'm pretty sure these are keyboard layouts, so there's some things here. They're basic keyboard layouts. But of course, I'm just going to skip to use American. Select one of the above keyboard languages. So right now, we need to select United States. You select English. But again, look at this. These are all countries. Of course, so 65 for United States because let me just because when we are like over here, over by them. So you look around here, goes 0's Australia, 1's Austria, 2 Bangladesh. You go down the list, and you get down to the United States, which is number 65. If you want to, so to select which one, you got to type in the number that corresponds with it. So for example, United States is 65. That's why I typed in. So let me just press enter. Now it's asking you to select one or more hard drives to use and configure. So these are block device. So 0 block device is your USB or whatever you use to install Arch Linux. Do not select 0, okay? That's how you screw things up. You want to select the hard drive that you're using, which is most likely the one on which has the largest, which is number 1. So press 1. Which I think it's already selected. So now it says 0. Wipe all selected drives and use best effort default partition layout. 1. Select what to do with each individual drive. If you're dual booting, I'd say go with 1. If you're just downloading this virtual machine, like probably a lot of people in this video, who are watching this video, just press 0 and nuke the virtual machine that has nothing on it. Now it's asking, select what you wish to do with the selected block device. This is 0. Your main partition, which I will go with ext4. because ext4 is the default for Linux distributions, and that since every Linux distribution uses ext4, I don't see any other reason why you wouldn't select it. So let's just do one. Enter disk encryption password. If you want to encrypt your disk, basically add another layer of security, which basically says you cannot access your disk. I think it's where like you cannot access your disk without the password, like anything on it. Your disk is encrypted to put in your password. But again, word of VM. Most people are probably not going to select this anyway, so let's leave blank for no encryption. Press enter. When you like to use, you swap on ZRAM. Default's Y. I don't see why not. Sorry, hostname for the installation. So hostname is basically the name your computer is going to recognize by other operating systems. My other computer is on the network. If you open up your router settings, your default gateway or whatever, and this is the name you'd see for your computer. Also, if you're in a terminal, this is usually what you would see by your username. So I'm going to do arch VM for the host name. Enter a root password. And the root password is basically the password you want to use for root. Okay, so here's this. 0 desktop. So now I'm guessing it's what it comes like. It's now asking what do you want on here. 0 desktop. Provides a selection of desktop environments and tiling window managers. For example, GNOME, KDE, or even go with Sway, or etc. Minimal, very basic installation that allows you to customize Arch Linux as you see fit. For most people, they'd want to go with 0. If you want to go full on hands-on, you can go with number 1. If you want to be a bit more hands-on, which I'd probably do if this computer did not have a little bit of an issue dealing with like sending crap to the EFI BIOS, etc. Which thankfully I found like I managed to get around it, but it's a temporary solution, and I'm sure a guided installation would screw that up. That's why I'm having to use Arch. And if I were to use any other distro, it'd probably be Gen 2 on this thing, because Ubuntu is going to flop immediately on there. But enter a pre-programmed name if you want to install one. I'm guessing 0. And now you want to select your desired desktop environment. You can go with some basic like Awesome. You can go with the main ones: Budgie, Cinnamon, Deepin if you want to look very nice, Enlightenment if you want to look like the alternate timeline, as I like to say. If desktop environments containing the way of how 90s are doing things, where it's basically like blah blah blah. GNOME for the default most distributions. 7 again, which is KDE for default most distributions. 8, 9, 11 is on time window managers. Therefore, like if you want your system to be very fast or lightweight, but since I'm basically doing this for everyone, you're probably wanting to go with the normal desktop environment. So I'm going to choose GNOME. Yes, I'm choosing GNOME. Don't argue. Select your... Okay, so now it's asking me to select a graphics driver or leave blank to install all open source drivers. So I'm on VirtualBox, okay? I'm going to be pressing it 5. By default, it's all open source drivers that's going to install. That means the whole collection. But again, I'm using VirtualBox. I know exactly what I'm using. If you don't know, just go with all open source. But for most people, if you got Intel CPU in there without a dedicated graphics card, you're more likely using the integrated graphics, which is obviously Intel. AMD, eCPU, same thing. I have an RX 590 in my computer, but I'm not passing that through right now because I'm in VirtualBox. So the RX 590 graphics card is not what this thing's going to see. This thing's going to see VirtualBox, GPU, or whatever. That's what we'll type in 5, and that's what's going to interface with. Select an audio server or leave blank to use Pipewire. Oh boy. I'm going to go with Pipewire, okay? Now it's asking us which kernel to use. I'd say just go off of Linux off the bat, though. Like, let's just go with that. If you desire web, so now it's asking only packages such as base developed Linux firmware, EFI boot manager, and optional profile packages are installed. If you desire a web browser, Firefox, or Chromium, it is specified in the following prompt. Write additional packages to install. So basically, let's just get Firefox in here. I want Vim definitely. Leaving out Vim is a federal crime if you ask me. And I'd probably go with actually, I think we're quite good right now, actually thinking about it. So let's just do Firefox and Vim. So I have one network interface to configure. So copy ISO network configuration to the installation. Use network manager, necessary to configure internet graphically, GNOME and KDE. Oh boy, oh boy. This is one of the other ones that's probably going to screw with you, but I'd probably use Network Manager if you're using a desktop environment. Let's just be honest here. Enter a valid time zone. Or press enter to use UTC, which, by the way, UTC is the, I think, Greenwich Mean GMT, which is the time zone that the British are in. So, yeah. U.S. Central. Let's see if this works. Would you like to use automatic times? I'm with default time servers. Yes. Not just spat a bunch of crap out. I think this is like more for if you're wanting to make sure things are correct. Heck, I'd just press enter to be honest. Unless you can see everything, then you look through it yourself, but just press enter. So now it's going through with the actual install process. So right now, so I formatted SDM1 is FAT32. That's more like your boot partition. Formatting it like dev SDA2 to ext4. That's your root partition. That's going to contain everything, including your home files. And it's installing your packages, installing the whole collection. Everything you need. So I will be back once this stops griping. Or when this gripes at me or just gets mad for no reason. I'll be back. So the install binary was done. Well, it was sort of done, but it more like it was crashed because for some reason when I looked through the log file and it crashed. Apparently there's this package that was a little corrupt or something. So yeah, that could come to bite me in the rear later in this video, but yep. So to basically test this, I'm gonna basically run archinstall, which is change root. I'm gonna down to MNT. Well, before that, I'd suggest doing LSBLK, and where you want to archinstall into is SDA2, which is managed at /MNT/archinstall. So I want to archinstall /MNT/archinstall. And I'm just going to test something. Yep, NeoFetch works. Works like usual, and I'm also going to do a systemctl enable DDM. Okay, sudo pacman-s gdm.service. No, GDM. This is the part of the install that failed, was known for some reason. And I'm gonna personally and when the error pops up again, I'm gonna take the file that basically pulled the bulk. I'm gonna take the package that pulled the bulk crap. I'm gonna look that up real quick to help y'all like troubleshoot that one. Okay, so I just press yes. Yes, import that. And by the way, a little fun fact, when it's a prompt like this, right here, there was like brackets and then y/n, the default is whatever is capitalized. So this y means yes, and it's capitalized. So I press enter and it's going to show up y. And it's going to select y. That's essentially what it's going to do. So I'm going to cut this, and I'll be back when this is, well, looks like just speed running now. And, well, how about this? Okay. So we try this, and that's checking packages integrity. Lib speech HD is corrupt or not. This is the thing that was corrupt, and I'm gonna look this up later. So I'm just gonna delete it. Speech appears that anything related to speech is gonna cause me problems. So I'm gonna not delete those. Are you kidding me? I don't know why this needs lip speech. Yes, delete it. Yes, nuke it. I'll be right back, peeps. So it looks like I managed to fix the problem. Essentially what was the problem was that Arch Linux keyring just needed reinstalled, so I basically just did sudo pacman-s archlinux-keyring. Guess I had a problem recognizing some, so yeah. I think we can reboot now, to be honest. I can be safe, so I just exit out of this. Let's just do sudo. Actually, I'm going to create a user called builder shed, obviously. First, I'm just going to go into sudo editor equals vim sudo uncomment that user add -m builder shed password builder shed again. Yep. And now what we need to do is just user mod ag and then wheel video storage audio. I just go with the whole collection of what? Yep, I forgot about the username. So if I now do groups in Builder Shed, just now shows the groups my user's in. So now I think we can exit. Well, we gotta do sudo umount mnt arch install. Got a little thing for you. Now we just reboot. Hopefully this works. Now we're booting into Arch. Looks like everything's going good so far. So now it's asking for me to log in. I'm going to do a little quick sudo systemctl enable pdm3. Now we just do a simple reboot again. Oh crap, everyone's hiding in blind. Sorry. Let's remove that disk from the drive. Force you out. Now our full screen again. Pop up and grow up. Select Arch Linux. No one cares about the blah 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 above. And in a second, once this gets past the bullcrap time, yep. Moved a little. That's for my generation, man. My generation. And I got a feeling this is GDM that's about to pop up. Unless I royally screwed my system. Well, not the system, the virtual machine. Which is always possible. There's just oh boy. And looks like I'm in the clear. So now, you got GNOME. Arch Linux is completely ready. Now it loads up the GNOME as in now what we gotta do is or not. Oh boy. So now at this point it should be ready for all of y'all to use. And of course this thing thinks it needs to blind me. Hopefully this video did help any of y'all switch to Arch Linux or try to attempt. Yeah, like this is, I've shown y'all this before, this is how I have Arch Linux set up on my main computer. I have a tiling window manager and the whole collection and stuff. Oh boy. I changed my wallpapers like this. Which I've pretty much shown all of y'all this before, so I don't need to do it a second time. So yeah, so it's been Bill Shed here. I hope to see y'all next time. See ya. If y'all like this type of content, make sure to drop a like. If you wanted to see more of this content, make sure to subscribe. If you don't like this content, or specifically this video, drop a dislike. And it'd be heavily appreciated if you were to also drop a comment explaining why you disliked the video and some issues, also known as constructive feedback. I'll see y'all next time. See ya.